and welcome. I'm Asta and I'm excited to have you in this course on creating a digital scrapbook using Canva. And you can do this on a free Canva account. I've been scrapbooking for over 20 years now, and I've been digital scrapbooking for the last 10 years. I'm going to show you how to do the same step by step using Canva's easy to use tools. Whether you're new to scrapbooking or just new to digital scrapbooking, I'll guide you through the process. You'll learn how to select the right templates, add your photos, customize with fonts and colors and graphics, and make this scrapbook uniquely yours. Canva is really intuitive and quite easy to use, and hopefully this course will show you how you can create your own scrapbook and personalize it to your unique style. I'll also share a few tips on how to make your scrapbook visually appealing and fun to look at. No prior design experience is required for this course. I'll make it simple and straightforward. If you're ready to get started, let's dive in. Creating your digital scrapbook. How to create a Canva account. Once you get your sign up screen on Canva, look for the sign up button on the top right corner. As you click that, continue with another email account. This is to help you create a new account. There is Google, Facebook, email. You can choose from a number of methods to log in. I would like to actually use a Google account I already have and create a new Canva account. So once you click on that, I have an email already registered and I'm going to use that to sign in. Canva helps to auto sign in for you. Once you've logged in, you'll be given an option to choose what your account is for. So we will use personal for this course. Then you have the option to try Canva Pro for free. For now, let's click maybe later. And there you go, you've started your Canva account. Let's get started. Creating your digital scrapbook. How to create a new project. Now that we've logged into Canva, let's start on our design. So we're going to use a video design for our scrapbook. Once you've clicked the video option, you have a range of specifications to choose from. Most of them are suited for different social media needs as well. We will be clicking the video button for our design. And here we have available a standard template for our digital scrapbook. Let's get started. Creating your digital scrapbook. How to design your project background. Now that we have our design, let's design the background. So as you can see on top of the slide, there's a background color spectrum. As we click on it, we can choose a range of colors to use. Let's add a color. I do have a specific color that I've designed for the entire scrapbook, which I will make available in the handout with the course. So as you can see, you can play around with the gradient, find a color that you like. For this particular vintage style travel diary, we're going with FFD9A5. This will be the color tone for our scrapbook. So now that we've created the background color, let's add some elements. On the left hand corner, you have a section saying elements. This provides you with different stickers, background designs, all kinds of creative tools. What I have in mind for the background is a line art pattern. I have typed out what I am looking for. Any design that has a crown icon is actually a Canva Pro
option and it has to be paid for unless you've logged in or signed up for the Canva Pro version. There are plenty of free options and we will be choosing from a free design. So let's just have a browse here. Feel free to explore and see what you like. Now I have picked out a pattern. It's called the Seamless Pattern with Art Ornament Vintage Design. This will be available in the PDF. Let's select this. So simply click on the icon and it will appear on your screen. And you can choose to edit the color. So once again, let's click on the plus color spectrum and we're going to add in the color 979 F8B. Once our color is finalized, drag your line art pattern to the top left corner. Use the right hand corner button to drag the pattern and to cover the entire background. Once I've positioned it, I'm going to lock the element. But before that, I'm going to add a little bit of transparency so this line art doesn't overpower our background and complements it. We lock it on screen so that the position cannot be moved around. Our next step is to add a few elements. I'm interested in creating a vintage weather map scrapbook feel. So as you can see, I have typed that out under the elements. And I have a range of options available for me. So we're going to choose this particular one. And I'm going to alter it, take up the left hand and right hand corner of the scrapbook. So we're going to position it in the corner, add a little bit of transparency again. So I usually prefer around 50 to 60. You can see what your preference is. 78 and lock that in position so that can't be changed. Before we lock that screen, we will duplicate our map to add it to our bottom right corner so it will be a symmetrical design for the background of our digital scrapbook. So once we're happy with the positioning of the map, we'll lock it down onto the background. Now we're going to look to adjust the timing of our digital scrapbook. So if you look at the icon above, it has a clock icon with 5 seconds as a default timing. We will adjust this to 5.5, which is a very comfortable transition between each section of our digital scrapbook. Now that we have finalized our background color, the design elements, as well as the timing, we will be duplicating this particular design throughout our digital scrapbook. To duplicate it, you simply click on the icon which has a plus and 2 squares. This will help to duplicate the exact same design, and we're going to be doing this a multiple number of times. Creating your digital scrapbook. How to create a title page. To create a title page, what we're going to do is add some frames, which is going to be images that we want to use. So I've actually clicked on Polaroid as the style that I'd like to use. And this 2 set Polaroid is quite fun, so I'm going to put this just for the cover page. So we use this button to rotate, and we can resize the image easily using the circular buttons. So if I just show you that again. So now we're going to duplicate this. You have the option to resize by adjusting the circles on the side. And we're going to rotate this so that we've got 2 frames on either side. So total of 4. To add images, we will upload media. So if you click on the left Uploads button, you have the option to upload files at the top. So choose whatever folder you'd like to import into Canva. So I'm going to pick the images that I would like to choose for my title page. And you simply drag and drop the images into the frame that you'd like to display them in. To readjust an image in an existing frame, you double click on the image and you will have the option to adjust the image within the frame by dragging it up or down to position it. To add text to your page, you click on the left-hand button Text and add a heading. They have some default settings you can use. And we're just going to type in the text we'd like for our cover page. So mine will read My Travel Diaries. Now to adjust the font, click on the upper toolbar and you'll get a range of options for fonts available, and they have been sorted out by different styles of fonts. So we're going to click under Font Handwriting. I like the effect of it being handwritten. It mimics the scrapbook style quite nicely. So I've chosen this font and we're going to look to rotate it or adjust it similar to how you do with your frames that you've added in. And I'm going to centralize the position and look to add the color. So if you look at the top, you have a color palette and you can choose whatever color you would like to use. I do have a color in mind. Our next step is to add effects to our title. So if you look at the top toolbar, there's an option for effects. Once you click on that, you'll be given a range of different effects you can use for your titles. I like the outline effect quite a bit, and you can change the thickness of the outline and adjust the color. So we're going to go very light, and I'm going to add a light background for a very thin outline effect. On the left side toolbar, we're going to click on Elements and type in Scrapbook Travel. There are a number of graphics you can choose from. One of the first that I'm going to look at have a line art graphic which displays an airline going to a destination. As I shared, because I'm looking for a plane, I'm going to edit my search to incorporate Scrapbook plane travel. And this is a quicker way to get more graphics which are relevant to what I'm looking for. So we're going to use this paper plane and add it to the bottom right corner of our page and rotate it so that it overlaps with our photo frame. And I'm going to adjust the color to complement the theme. we're going to add in one or two graphics. You can have a look to see if there are any graphics that you like. So I'm going to add an additional stamp style graphic, which is going to go in the top right corner to give the impact of it being a sticker on a scrapbook. Finally, I'm going to add a passport stamp style graphic. So I've clicked this Paris style stamp, but I want to change it. So if you click on the left side button on the graphic, you have the option for see more like this, and they will give you similar graphics to choose from. So I'm going to have a scroll down, and I found a good graphic I'd like to use, which is of a passport and arrival. If you click, it adds the graphic to your page. Then you can resize and position it. You have the option to edit the colors for this graphic. So I am going to change the color and add transparency so that this graphic merges into the background of this page. And that is how you can create your title page. Creating your digital scrapbook. How to add media. So we're now going to add images throughout the rest of our project. I'm going to start with the first page with a landscape Polaroid, which is going to be the focal point for this page. The next page is going to be a collection of different Polaroids. You can drag and drop this to your page and use the circle icon to adjust the height. You can also use the rotate button to add this to an angle. So we're going to position this with 2 frames on either side with a smaller Polaroid frame in the middle. So I've duplicated this page and I'm going to look to create a similar design but with a different Polaroid frame. So I'm adding an additional Polaroid frame, which is not as narrow, and adding it to the middle, just as I did for the previous page. Now I'm going to add a page which will have one landscape shot complemented by a portrait style Polaroid. Feel free to play around with the pages and add as many frames or as little frames as you'd like. I'd like to have a variety in terms of the different pages. Once you're happy with the few different page styles, click on the grid view, and we've got 4 styles of pages to use from. You can duplicate the page by selecting the page and clicking on the duplicate page option. You can reorder the pages by dragging and dropping them. So you select the page and you shift it to whichever position or page number you would like it to sit on. You can add as many pages as you'd like depending on how much media you want to add to this project. Now we're going to look to add our media to our page. So if you click on the left upload option, I'm going to use this page to add a video. So I have a nice video of the flight landing. So I'm going to drag and drop it. Let's remove the audio and keep it on mute since this project will have music in it. And now let's look to adjust the playback for the video. This gives you the option to make it go faster or slower depending on the effect you'd like. To trim, click scissor icon and let's adjust the length of the video. I'm gonna go with a 9-second video. You can see what you would prefer depending on your video. If you're looking to adjust your media within the frame, you click on the media, the image or the video, and you can drag it up and down, position it within your frame. So for instance, I'm going to be dragging this downwards so that I get the wing within the frame. A digital scrapbook is a great way of displaying a lot of different videos that you might have from holiday trips, and especially videos that you might have captured for social media, especially Snapchat, for example. I have a lot of travel videos, and I found it a great way to be adding them or displaying them in a memory that will last forever. Finally, let's add subtitles. These will be captions for our images. I'm just going to duplicate the subtitle we've used on our cover page and paste it to all the different frames. I'm going to use different captions and different locations and timings. To create a little bit more of a scrapbook feel, click on elements and we're going to add some graphics and add these to the different frame. So you can obviously choose core words. I'm actually going to type in and see if there are Thailand based stickers. Canva has some great options and graphics available. So I've clicked Thailand and I have a range of images. So if you click on this image, for example, it's actually a pro image, so you can't add it to your page. It'll have a watermark on it. So let's look for another sticker. So I do like this image and I'm gonna add it to our frame on the right corner. Adjust it through the rotate button. All of these tips and steps are included in the handout given with this project. Now, a fun little feature is you can actually change the color of stickers. I like this elephant sticker and I'd like to add it to this image of the elephant, but I want to play around with it to complement the image. So I'm just going to resize this. And if you look at the top toolbar, you have the option of different colors. So once you click on them, you can change the colors around. So I'm going to change my colors to complement the image that I have in that Polaroid frame. Being able to adjust these graphics is a great way of personalizing different types of projects. Creating your digital scrapbook, how to add animations and transitions. To create a flow between our different slides, we're going to click on the animate button where the arrow is. And this offers how each graphic will appear on screen. So there are a few options like sleek and corporate. You can play around and see what you like. I personally prefer a very clean, smooth transition, so we will be going with fade. Fade is a very smooth page animation to keep. So one thing that we'll change is keep fade on enter. Click apply to all pages so we get the same animation throughout our video. So if you click the play button, you'll be able to watch how each page introduces itself in the video, and you can see the effects of the fade animation. We are now going to add page transitions. This refers to how each page will lead onto the next page. So if you click the add transition icon as shown on the screen, you will get an option of transitions to choose from. You can play around to see what suits you or what you like the most. For this, there are options like match and move as well, which moves according to the page animation. But for this particular video, we're going to go very simple with the dissolve option. Once you click on dissolve, you have the option to moderate the duration of the transition itself. So we're going to click one and apply this to all the pages. So if you click play now, you can have a look at how the video flows with the page transitions and the animations. And finally, to end our project, we're going to add a blank screen. You add a new page, you click on the plus button, add a new page, and then we will change the timing of this slide to only around 0.4 seconds. And as you can see, as the last page finishes, we get a smooth ending onto a blank screen, adding finesse to your project. Creating your digital scrapbook, how to add music. To add music, we click on Elements and the section on Audio. Once you expand this selection, you'll notice that there's a range of options available. Now I'm going to the search section because they have some great suggestions, and I'm going to use travel. And the best thing is you can have a browse at what music is available. They do have free versions available, so I'm going to use Calming in the Sun for this particular video. So once we've dragged and dropped the track, you'll notice a purple bar at the bottom. This is your track. So to adjust it, we look at the bar on top where the arrow is, and you can adjust the volume. It's a good idea to keep your volume at 20 to 30 so that it doesn't overpower the video. After adjusting the volume, we're going to look to add a fade technique to the track. Fade in and fade out is a great way of introducing the track gradually to the video and fading it out as it ends to give a soft finish to our digital scrapbook. It's best to set the fade out at around 1 second, but once again, you can see what appeals to you more. Another feature that Canva Pro has is the beat sync option, which auto syncs the beat of the track to the transitions within the video. A good feature to use if you have Canva Pro. Creating your digital scrapbook, finalizing your project. So if you click on the grid view by the arrow, this gives you an overview idea of the order in which the slides would be going. You can simply drag and drop if you want to reorder them, shuffle them around. So in this case, I'm actually reordering it to represent the chronological order of the trip. Now we click the grid button to return back. And finally, we do a preview. If you look at the bottom right corner, there is an option to preview the video. Have a look, get a feel of what the final video would look like and sound like, and then you're ready to download your video. Creating your digital scrapbook, how to download your project. To share and download your copy, click on the top right share icon and then click download. Canva has an MP4 format already set to a quality level for Canva free accounts, but this can be adjusted if you are on a Canva Pro version. Your video will be ready in a few minutes.